4 live races from Chester now on 4, presented by Rough Scott.
Channel 4 Racing, sponsored by the Daily Mirror.
Chester is the British racetrack where, above all else, history and action meet. This clock and these old shopping precincts are quite recent compared to the Rudy racecourse itself, which was already well established by the first part of the 16th century. Indeed, in the early Middle Ages, the River Dee washed right up to the Roman walls themselves, Chester being one of the main ports in the country before the Rudy silted up and the boats went to a place called Liverpool. We even get to the racetrack. Horses have to walk through the cobbled streets of the city centre and under the sweeping arches of the viaduct, which is part of the Roman wall. Top horses run today, but the main race commemorates one of the best of all local runners, the immortal Ormonde, winner of the Triple Crown in 1886 and conqueror of the free handicap by 8 lengths, giving his rivals 2 stone. Are you listening, Celtic Swing? The race in Ormonde's honour, run this afternoon, has seen some good winners down the years, and the last 2 seasons the talented Shambo has shown his liking for the Chester turns. 5 victories in '94 and first in '93.
And it's still Allegan on the inside of Further Flight, and Shambo, and Zinard now looks for room and starts to pick him up. They're inside the final furlong, and it's Shambo the outside and Allegan, and Zinard trying to come between the pair. Further Flight back in third, and Shambo is going to take this race, causing a surprise again. And Shambo comes to take it from Allegan and Zinard. Shambo wins, Allegan and Zinard second and third. Last year's winner Shambo on the left. Shrewd Idea in the white with the red sash coming with a run. Just a furlong to go. League lead to the far side, Shrewd Idea and Shambo. It's between these 3. Here goes Shambo on the outside of Shrewd Idea, and they duel up towards the line. It's going to be very close, this. Shambo, Shrewd Idea in a photo.
The Ormonde Stakes is the 3rd of the 4 races we give you live. The ground is officially good to firm. We open with the D Stakes over a mile and a quarter. 5 runners, including the unbeaten Muraji and the impressive Sandown winner Pentire. 3:10, 9 runners blaze around the 5 furlong trip in the Thomas A. Higgins and Company rated handicap. Then the Ormonde Stakes at 3:40 with Shambo in against the likes of Broadway Fly and Linney Head. That's over a mile and 5 furlongs, and they're just 4 runners, but they're very interesting ones. And finally at 4:10, there's a non-runner in that. Number 9, Highland Magic, is out. It leaves 18 runners over 7 furlongs and 1 more non-runner. In the 4:40 after we go off the air, number 7, Mr. Towser, is out of that.
Also today we'll be getting reactions to that controversial victory of Top Cees here in yesterday's Ladbroke Chester Cup. Now, if you're finding winners hard to find here at Chester this week, why not have a go at Dial Your Duo? Pick 2 to finish in the first 3 in the first race. Entry details coming shortly. And also today we pop down the road to the University of Liverpool Veterinary Training Hospital to see a very famous inmate who injured himself at Aintree last month. He's recovering well, but will he be able to race again?
Well, invariably, owner Robert Sangster, who used to live in the Isle of Man, not so far away from here, raids this meeting. But feature here has been how easy his horse to have been to back. Royal Solo on the first day, out from 4 to 1 to 7 to 1 and buzzed in. Night Appeal yesterday from odds on to 11 to 8 against Night Appeal. That won easily as well. And Snowtown was also an easy horse to back in the market, out to 2 to 1. But he's got the steamer of the day here in Barossa Valley, number 7. That's in the 3:10. Let's have a look at the tissue. The bookmaker's forecast of how the betting will go, and Barossa Valley, who's been back from 10-9 and 8-1, is now a 4-1 chance. Barossa Valley with 5-2 JMP, 130 Royal Figurine, 6-1 Tuscan Dawn, the runner-up last year, and 7-1 Encore Milady. In the Ormonde Stakes, it looks as though they'll be asking for odds over last year's Chester Vase winner Broadway Flyer. Put in 11-10 on, and remember last year he beat the St Leger winner Moonax by 5 lengths. 7-2 Shambo's won by Shorthead and a length in the last 2 years. 4-1 against the enigmatic Zilzaal Zoman, and 5-1 Liney Head. And in the 4-10, Willie Carson's horse Douala Lieb is put in the 5-1 favourite. Just caught at Salisbury recently, but drawn poorly in 13 here. 13-2 Sagebrush Roller, who was second a year ago, and also 13-2 L-Shaped, who's won twice at this meeting, ideally drawn on the fence for the Tory at 1. 8-1 Highborn, and among the 10-1 chances is CJA, who won this in 93 and was 13th last year, and the runner-up in 93, Veloci, now £2 worse off, is a 20-1 chance. Now, looking ahead here to the BNFL International D Stakes, in the Racing Post this morning, Peter Warwin said today that he reckons Mirage's runner here could be better than his current Vodafone Derby third favourite, Manoir. Well, Mirage is favourite, but is out to 7-4 Mirage. They're going top of the head, 9-4 against Pentire. It's 3-1 Sanusia. Rambrino, another Sangster horse, easy to back, 5-1, out to 6-1, 25-1 the Rag Heathyard's Rock. But is this Mirage a better horse, as Peter Warwin, the trainer, reckons he is, than Manoir? If he is, why aren't we all on at shoulder? 7-4.
Let's get straight into the action. We've already had a race at 2:10. This was the European Breeders' Fund Scepter Maiden Filly Stakes. Now, Scepter was a truly exceptional racehorse. She's the horse who won 4 classics in the same season. 1,000, 2,000 guineas, Oaks in the St Leger. The only one she didn't win was the Derby, and she was third in that. And all that after getting beaten in the Lincoln Handicap, would you believe? Scepter raced in 1902. Anyway, coming right up to date, 1995. The one the punters latched onto in this 5-furlong race was a newcomer. It was this one, Like a Hawk, a newcomer from Paul Cole's stable, and the word was that this 2-year-old had been showing plenty of speed on the home gallops. Could she win first time out? Before we see, Simon, how did they bet at the odds?
And Like a Hawk was the 2-1 favourite to fly in. Honourable Estate at 3-1, Bewitching a 4-1 chance, Mystique Smile at 6-1, and then on 10-1 Branston Danny, at 20-1 Credit Risque, and on 33-1 Skelton Countess and Siberian Mystic. Let's join the action.
It's Mystic Smile in the lead by about 1.5 lengths. The yellow colours running the red Honourable Estate. On the outside of that one is Like a Hawk, wider still in blue and red Credit Risk. The back marker is Siberian Mystic, and wide of the pack is Bewitching, and making a run through on the inside Branston Danny as they come down to the halfway stage. Mystic Smile leading in the hoop sleeve jacket. On the outer is Honourable Estate. Through into third is Skelton Countess in blue, and that one's travelling well. A couple of lengths behind these comes Like a Hawk, but it's Mystic Smile, the leader, by 1.5 lengths or so as they complete the turn for home. A Mystic Smile under John Carroll, clear by 2. Here comes Bewitching on the outside of Skelton Countess. Wide is Honourable Estate in the yellow cap, but they're inside the final furlong. And this Mystic Smile, who stole lengths at the start, is clear by lengths as they come up toward the line. And Mystic Smile takes it up the post. Mystic Smile is the winner. Branston Danny through on the inside for second.
And first, number 6, Mystic Smile at 6-1. Second, number 2, Branston Danny at 10-1. Good run by that horse, having been snatched up over 2 furlongs out. Third, number 4, Honourable Estate at 3-1. The totes, win tote, £7, places £1.50, £2.10 and £1.10. Dual forecast, £41.50. The CSF, £54 and 14 pence. Like a Hawk was the 2-1 favourite, 8 ran.
6-1 Jack Berry, 2-year-old winner. But now the Dahlia Duo on the next 240. Remember what you have to do: pick 2 out of the first 3. Pick your 2 out of the first 3 and ring 0891 777 911. It's 0891 777 911. 2 out of the first 3 you've got to pick. And so now the BNFL International sponsored D Stakes. The race, we've seen some pretty good horses down the years, and certainly 2 decent ones here. 1 mile, 2.5 furlongs. There are 5 of them, listed by Graham.
And number 1 is Pentire, a 5-2 chance, ridden by Michael Hills and drawn 5. Number 2, drawn 1, Heathyard's Rock at 16-1, Tony Eyes. Number 3, Miraja, the 15-8 favourite with Willie Carson from 4. Number 4, drawn 2, Rambrino, an 11-2 chance with John Reed. And number 5, drawn 3, Sanusia, 3-1 chance with Walter Swinburne. That's the lineup then for this BNFL International D Stakes.
I must say, this Marija is a very taking individual. Great, big, powerful chestnut. John Franklin was just saying, winning the show ring, he's marvellous looking individual. He's won all 4 of his races. Big guy, likes to go up with the pace, and last October at York, he showed that he can battle too.
And there's barely a couple of legs between the 3 of them as they come down into the final quarter of a mile of this Stamford Bridge Condition Stakes, with Holtine now coming through on the near side under pressure to come and collar Miraja a little in between the 2, though Miraja lying his odds at the moment. He's the outsider. Holtine is gaining with every stride. He's left it pretty late. Miraja's just hanging on. It looks like causing a shock here at York. Miraja is going to get there. Close home. Miraja wins it narrowly from Holtine. These 2 are well in front of him this back in 3rd.
Marija with Willie Carson, watching him, John Frankham and John Oakley.
Well, he stood out in the paddock, this colt. The reason for his position in the market may be, first of all, that he's never been beaten in 4 runs, and second of all, Peter Walwyn's evidently high opinion of him. He says he may be better than Manoir. He also says that he wasn't ever in the Derby, he wasn't ever put in the Derby, because Peter, was sure that he wouldn't act round Epsom.
Well, he's not guaranteed to act round here. He's a great big horse, and it speaks volumes for him, and also for trainer Peter Warburton, that managed to win with him a couple of times as a 2-year-old. Quite an interesting race in this, because 2 or 3 have got sound claims. Pentire came good, 25-1 when he won at Sandown last time out, and that was his first run of the season. He ran some good races last year. He's a horse that you would think, looking at the Morecambe round and watching them go down to post, would be a lot handier around these tight turns, and I would imagine that Willie Carson will be making plenty of use of Manoir, but Michael Hill is sure to be sitting close up to him, ready to pounce in the closing stages.
Rambrino's always been thought a good deal of, the Robert Sangster's colt, but although he ran in all pattern races last year after he'd won his maiden at York, he wasn't able really to take much of a hand in them. He was well beaten behind Street Pecan and Eltish, and then failed completely in the gimcrack behind Chilly Billy. He was, not surprisingly, 12 lengths behind Circus Celtic Swing in the Greenham, so there's no real evidence to show that he's yet able to produce what he certainly has done at home.
Well, the thing about this horse is Johnny's taken a big step up in distance. He's been running in sprints, ran in the Coventry, and actually beat another of today's runners, Heathyard's Rock, first time that he won up at York. And it's a question of whether he gets this extra trip. He's obviously got plenty of speed, but he's always struck me as a horse who wanted a distance of ground, and be interested to see just whether he settles or not. That also applies to Sanusi, who's stepping up from a mile last time out, ran second behind a good horse called Spectrum. Prior to that, he'd made most of the run in to win at Haydock.
A full brother to the brilliant filly Indian Skimmer. If he's as good as she is, he might make these go.
And the only one we haven't spoken about is Heathyard's Rock, who won on the all-weather in March and who's been doing well. It's been running well. Heathyard's Rock didn't run a bad race behind Manoir in the Field and Stakes. The eye catchers was easy for us. Miraja, Sanusi on the way to post, and Heathyard's Rock, money for that one of Reg Hollinshead's.
Now, latest betting, Miraja is the 2-1 favourite, Pentire at 9-4, Sanusi at 3-1, Rambrino at 11-2, and there's money for the outsider, Heathyard's Rock, from 16-1 to 14-1.
So, Miraja won 2 races, well, he won 4 races, but 2 of those he only ever beat 2 horses, and on those occasions he made the running. Could put the pace to the race today. Stepping up in trip is Rambrino. Will he go from the front? We'll soon know. This is the BNFL International D-Stakes, and Pentire was slow to stride. And it is Rambino who races keenly on the inside, the right with a spotted cap. And the other three of the other four in blue and white. The striped cap, it's Maraja, and it's Maraja that's going into the lead now. Maraja the leader then by about a length to Rambrino showing in second, and then Sanusia is in third. Heath Yards Rock the inside of Pentire fourth and fifth. As they race up past the winning line, they've got a circuit to go. And making the turn away from the stands, and Maraja running wide, running awkwardly. Sanusi is sent out wide. Oh, and there's a lot of skirmishing going on there. A lot of skirmishing indeed, with Maraja running the inside of Sanusi. And then we have Rambrino, and behind Rambrino is Pentire, and Heath Yards Rock the back marker. And as they start the turn for home, they're going to be coming wide as well. No doubt you saw the false running rail in the first race, but it's Maraja leading, Maraja the leader from Sanusi in second, striding out well the outside of Rambrino at a steady 35 miles an hour as they pass the 5 furlong point. Pentire behind that, and then Heath Yards Rock. Just half a mile to go then in the D-Stakes, and it's Maraja leading under Willie Carson, got his ears pricked. Sanusi the outside, Rambrino the inner. Then comes Pentire, and Heath Yards Rock is no more than 3 lengths off the pace. They pass the 3 furlong marker, just asking him to get a little bit faster, Maraja. But the other big horse is staying with him. Sanusi on the outside. Here comes Pentire, horse with a noseband on the wide outside as they start the sweep for home. And it's Maraja going well. Sanusi, the light blue cap. Here comes Pentire, who's fanning out wide. Rambrino on the inner. Come with the top of the home run now, and it's Maraja with Sanusi on the outside. Here comes Pentire, the yellow sleeve jacket, wide of the pack, down the straight they come. Any one of the front three. Pentire on the outside. Pentire goes into the lead. His class is telling here, up towards the line. Pentire's going to take it, and Pentire for Michael Hills is the winner. Pentire the winner, close for second. Sanusi and Maraja a photo second, third. Then came Rambrino, and Heath Yards Rock, despite that money in the ring, was always last. And so the result then of this, the BNFL International D-Stakes. It's a win for number 1, Pentire. The colours of Moller's Racing on this 9-4 chance are successful Jeff Ragg trains and Michael Hills rides. Close call for second place, however, between Sanusi, whose nose is in front on that evidence, if not his whole neck. The judge calls a photo for second place. But there's Sanusi in front of the third-placed horse, Maraja, who's in the blue jacket running next to the rails at this angle. That's Maraja. But Pentire, a son of Be My Guest, bred by Lord Halifax, certainly had that storming run last time at Sandown on good to firm ground. He's had to come wide into the home straight, but he's delivered his challenge to come and take Sanusi for speed inside the final furlong. And unbeaten to date, Maraja on the right has tasted defeat for the first time. But a good horse beat him in Pentire.
And you've got to say that these two horses were beaten by a better horse and a faster horse. Really quickened up well, and he's had to come round horses into the straight. Always difficult when you're trying to make up ground and you're going as fast as the others, and you're not actually making up too much ground. You've really got to be useful in your own right, and that's exactly what this horse has done. Never far off the pace, but when you can just see, just come in probably 3 yards off the rails, you're always just struggling. But when they got into the straight completely, he really has quickened up well under Michael Hills. I think Jeff Bragg will be delighted with the way that he's run. Shouldn't think that either Michael Stout or Peter Warman have been disappointed with their runners, either Maraja rather over on the far rails, and Sanusi. Both have run well, probably lacked a little bit of experience still. Maraja ran very wide on the first bend, but Pentire looked much more professional than the other two. Looked like that beforehand, and that's how he came home.
Pentire successfully gives the weight away. Another boost for the Sandown Classic trial. Remember Lusso on the Chester Vase, although Singspiel, who was second in it, disappointed in the Chester Vase, but Lusso helped the form. Pentire goes in, the 9-4 second favourite, back down from 5-2. The second, Sanusia, was a 3-1 chance. And the third, Miraja, sent off the 2-1 favourite. And that Pentire is jockey Michael Hill's third winner in the race. He won it with Beneficial 2 years ago, also trained by Jeff Ragg, and Free Sweater in '89. And Jeff Ragg has also won it for the third time. He also won with Kirkling, apart from Beneficial with Kirkling in 1981. So that Pentire, 9-4, second favourite. It looks like a sort of second-class horse that could go for the Derby, couldn't it? One of the ones who make up the challenges to Penny Cap and presenting in the Vodafone Derby, and the distance he wins by 1 1/4 lengths and a neck.
Well, he's certainly improving. He was giving £5 to the others. Let's have a look at the skirmish on the first bend, because Miraja just runs wide, and John Reid on Rambrino just went to take up a closer position, and then Willie Carson overdid the tactics coming back in. Surely it wasn't intentional, but anyway, no harm done.
Pentire, bred by Lord Halifax, by Be My Guest, one of Northern Dancer's many successful sires. I won't hold it against him that he is the sire of my pointer who refused the only fence he was ever asked to jump. But Gulnook, much more important. The dam was by Mill Reef. She's already produced 2 good winners, Spring and Tance, who was by Sadler's Wells, and also Smart Generation.
Now here's the SP. First, number 1, Pentire at 9-4, the second boost of the week for the Thresher Classic trial form at Sandown. Second, number 5, Sanusi at 3-1, and third, number 3, Miraja, the 2-1 favourite, who looked ill at ease on the course. 5 ran. Now at Southall, the 2 o'clock, first number 15, Nothing Doing at 20-1, second number 7, Summersby at 6-1, and third number 5, Pistols at Dawn at 6-1. Non-runners numbers 10 and 17. Rolling Waters was the 9-2 favourite, 15 ran. The 2:30, a third course and distance win for number 11, Legally Delicious, the 11-8 favourite. Second, number 1, Golf Shardy at 3-1, and third, number 4, Java Red at 12-1. Non-runner number 8, 13 ran.
Now, you've heard the phrase one-horse book. Now, what that means is that bookmakers lay virtually 1 horse in the race, and after that, if that horse wins, of course, they do nearly all their money. If it loses, well, of course, things are very much better for them, and then they cop most of the money that they've got in their satchels. We had a case of that in the last race here yesterday, the 7 Furlong Maiden. 11 runners took on Michael Stout's Dream Ticket, but none of them were fancied. Dream Ticket was backed with over £30,000 was put on it in big bets alone, which is quite a lot, especially for here at Chester, from 6-4 down to 6-5. But in the event, although the money was down, the choir boy Walter Swinburne, he didn't have a steering job. And coming into the straight, and it's definitely quite clear that he's going to win in the blue colours, Dream Ticket. Hard ridden though he is now, having really get to work, and the horse to watch is in the black cup on the outside, Nawawis, who comes very strongly on the outside. Dream Ticket eventually getting the upper hand, but look at this Nawawis, who is finishing very strongly indeed. Slowly away Nawawis, and many people would back that to reverse placings if they met again. Nawawis ran a cracking good race first time out, but Dream Ticket landed plenty of bets there for the choir boy, Walter Swinburne. It's not so easy though. Although they back him, they've still got to win, and that was no easy job for Dream Ticket.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman and directors of the Chester Race Company would like to take this formal opportunity to thank BNFL International for its most generous support of this, the listed BNFL International D Stakes, the oldest race in the history of racing here at Chester, and sponsored for the first time in its 182nd year. Well, to present the trophy, we extend a very warm welcome indeed to Mr. and Mrs. Neville Chamberlain. Mrs. Chamberlain is the wife of the Chief Executive of BNFL International. As I said, they've kindly joined us to present the D Stakes trophy. Here to receive it, would you please welcome the owner of Mollers Racing. He's the owner of Pentire. Would you please welcome Mr. John Ferguson. In addition, ladies and gentlemen, BNFL International have kindly provided magnums of Merton Chandon for the winning trainer and jockey. Here to receive the first of those, your applause please for the trainer of Pentire, Jeff Ragg. And a warm round of applause please for the winning rider, Michael Hills.
Wait in, wait in.
Now the Dahlia Duo result on that 240 race wasn't too difficult, I don't think. Pentire, Sanusi, Miraja, the first three, you had to name two of those. And our winner, our £100 winner, came from Malvern in Worcestershire, and the name Paula Bullock. Well done, Paula. Now the 310 Dahlia Duo, you have to ring 0891 777 922, 0891 777 922. We just want two names, and those two have to finish in the first three.
Pentire's in good form, so is Michael Hills. Michael, are you regretting now he's not in the Derby?
Well, you know, that was a decision made long ago, and at the time, you know, he didn't look a Derby sort. So, you know, it all cost a lot of money, and, you know, he's turned out a lot better than we thought, and just unfortunate, really.
He's got a nice style about him, the way he runs his races.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's not very big, and he settles well, and he's got a real good turn of foot, and, you know, you can actually put him anywhere in the race. He's a very easy ride. And he's got a bit of class.
Where do you think he's going to go from here? Predominant stakes, that sort of thing?
I would have thought.
And is he in Italian derbies, French derbies?
I don't know.
English?
I don't know.
Doesn't really matter.
So it'd be predominant and probably Ascot, you know, someone like that.
Tell us, with an identical twin like Richard, when he won the 1,000 guineas, how good was that for you? Do you actually get a kick out of that?
Well, a lot of people said well done to me. No, I mean, I finished fourth, so I was on a sort of high anyhow because I ran so well. But it was just the greatest moment of Richard's life, and you know, I felt every bit like I'd won it as well. You know, it's just a great thrill. We've both worked hard for, you know, what we've done, and just those days come very few and far between. It's lovely to enjoy.
Like I was saying to Richard on that day, that it's taken a bit of time. You know, okay, you came with your father's sons, you got started off quite well, but there's quite a long haul between that first start and then becoming accepted in the top flight.
That's right. I mean, but you know, the top flight jockeys are very good. And, you know, you have to sit and wait for the right horses and the right opportunities. And when you get them, you've got to sort of keep on doing them to keep up there. So, you know, it's very competitive and hard work. And there's a lot of people in that weighing room who can ride, I tell you.
And including Michael Hills. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now the first result at Brighton today, an amended one, the 220. First number 6 Lasuria at 7-1, second number 1 Bath Knight at 33-1, and third number 2 Caricature, the 11-4 on favourite. Now there were lots of fun and games here. Double Point finished first past the post, but was disqualified and placed last after badly hampering the odds-on favourite Caricature over a furlong out, and but for that incident, Caricature would probably have won. 6 ran.
I just found a fella here who's having a day out with his mum, and you might recognise him, you might not, from Take That. Robert Williams, you enjoyed yourself today?
I certainly am. I've come down for a spot of champagne and to take the mickey out of the people with the silly hats.
There are plenty of them here today.
Well, that's what I'm going to be doing after I've just done this.
Now, racing, I mean, do you get time for racing? Because you told me you just finished a busy tour.
Yeah, well, I went to Uttoxeter last night, and I haven't been for a while, but I've just bought myself a horse.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Who have you put that with?
I don't know. I don't even know its name. I just know I've got one.
Oh, well, thanks for that inside information.
Yeah, but it's a nice horse, and it's big.
It's big?
Yeah.
So that gives it a chance.
And apparently it's going to win.
Well.
My accountant said so.
If the accountant says so. Tell us, what's the latest news on Take That? You've been busy and everything. And you're not number one, you're number 2 in the charts.
Oh, well, that's all right. We got knocked off. We're just going out to do some promotion, UK promotion. Then we're off to Southeast Asia. Got a few things going on. But I'll always make time for racing, I reckon.
That's great. Now tell us, I mean, you are a superstar now. Everything's going absolutely fine. I know. But how much time do you get to yourselves, and how much time do you get to relax, or is it flat to the boards all the way?
Very little. Yeah. Very little, but we're coping with it. We're having a good time. I'm relaxed now, so, you know.
And how do you keep fit? Just because you lads really do everything.
Well, it's the first of the bar. really. It's a big race to the bar. You have to be there first, and sometimes you have to pull your own pint. So it's all in the arm action.
Why did I bother to ask that? How did you get interested in racing? Was it your father or what?
Oh no, it was my mother actually.
Yeah.
My mother used to go to Haydock a lot, and I used to go up there with her as a kid, and I used to enjoy myself a lot. So I'm going to get back into it now that I've got a horse and everything.
And what are you going to back in the next race? What are you on?
JMP.
JMP?
Yeah.
Frankie?
Yeah.
You didn't get a tip from your mate here. Can I just have a quick chat? There's a great
J-Mo.
big fella coming in here. You might have recognised him as the Liverpool goalie, David Jet. I won't ask you about the 3 goals last night. No, I won't. You've got...
This interview's going to get bad, isn't it?
No, exactly. But what about the big match on Sunday against Blackburn?
I think we're going to win.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to try and win.
I mean,
put it
the
that way.
pressure. Well, you've got to, but the pressure. I mean, what's the latest feeling of Liverpool, Blackburn?
Well, unfortunately, I mean, it's a situation where we haven't been playing very well lately, and I think because of that, it's going to be hard for us. But at the same time, we tend to rise to the occasion. So, as I said, I think it's going to be a good game, and I honestly hope we're going to win.
How can you beat Blackburn, just a matter of interest?
Scoring more goals.
Oh, yes, but apart from
that always works, actually, I found that.
But the great rivalry is there, because they're just down the road.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's rivalry between ourselves, Blackburn, Man United, you know, and Everton, of course. But as I said, I fancy last game of the season, because of the last 2 results we've had, I think everyone's going to be out there ready to win the game, and I think it leaves up to Man United to lose to West Ham.
Yeah, but what happens if Man U beat West Ham and you beat... that means that Manchester United, the greater rivals, would win. And
well, at the end of the day, that's not my concern, because
exactly.
It's not us fighting for the title. Yeah. It's us trying to win as many points as we can, and obviously if we lose again on Sunday, then we've had a bad run-in. So
Can I just say that they've got to watch out for when Port Vale get in the Premier League, because then they're going to really suffer. All the teams in the Premier League will suffer when Port Vale get up there. Our rise to Europe, we will be victorious.
You heard it first here on Channel 4 Racing. Fellas, thanks for making time. Enjoy your day at the races.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Port Vale on the march. We're on the march into a break. After that, we've got the Thomas O'Higgins 5 furlong rated stakes, and they will be blazing. Stay with us.
This is the basic stuff that all cars are made of. But the way the new Honda Civic's been built will make your eyes pop out. This class of car's never seen double wishbone suspension before, or a tough new roll bar reinforcing the rear. The doors meet 1997 US side impact standards already. VTEC is the most economical system in its class, but open her up and there's all the performance you need. All cars are made from this. But in the end, not all are built like this.
Honda, built without compromise.
Beryl doesn't look too happy, does she? And you know why that is? It's her birthday, and the doormat's a bit light on birthday cards. Actually, what really happened was this. There were plenty of cards. Do you know why?
It's me, Mum. Don't forget Gran's birthday. Helen, before you go on holiday, send Gran a card, all right? I know you're broke, Tom, so I've got you a card. You can sign it when you come over, all right? I'd like to order some flowers, please.
Don't ask me why women bring round more than men. Maybe they care more. I know one thing, though. When they get on the blower, things happen.
Oh, the flowers are beautiful. And I had a lovely lot of cards.
It's good to talk. Behave yourself.
Whatever life throws at you, you're not alone. Sun Alliance is worldwide.
We are helping millions of families to cope with the uncertainties of life in over 50 countries. Sun Alliance. Together we make Sun Alliance.
The beautiful sound of the panpipes on Panpipe Inspirations, 18 contemporary love songs of peace and tranquility.
If you've got what it takes to do any of the worthwhile jobs in the public sector, you've got what it takes to get 15% of our home and motor insurance. To get your discount from Zurich Municipal, free phone 0800 444 555.
Yeah, you got what it takes from me.
What would you say if I said you could get a pure cod liver oil that also has multivitamins?
I'd be thrilled to bits.
7 Cees have done it.
They're going very quick here. It's 5 furlongs. 5 furlongs on the turn at Chester. The Thomas Higgins and Company rated stakes. There are 9 runners listed by Graham.
And the draw so important here, an early pace in the race. The top weight, however, drawn 1, JMP, currently at 9 to 4, ridden by Frankie Dettori, is often held up and comes from off the pace. Drawn 1, will he find room? From 6, Royal Figurine, a 7 to 2, Walter Swinburne. Often giving trouble in the start is Tuscan drawn 2, a 6 to 1 chance with John Carroll. That goes into the stalls last. Ashtina already well on her way to post at 10 to 1 with Pat Heddery, drawn 5. From 7, the very fast trapper on Corma Lady, 7 to 1 chance with Tony I, who's having a good season. From 3, Inside the Trader, who's blinkered, and he normally is. Richard Quinn rides at a tempting 8 to 1. From 8, Barossa Valley, 11 to 2 chance with Brent Thompson. From 4, Magic Pearl going to post early, a 14 to 1 chance with Kieren Fallon, and blinkered is a 33 to 1 chance Lord Sky. Wide in 9 for Michael Hills. That's the lineup then for the Thomas A. Higgins and Company rated stakes. Runners to post.
That's right. So there he is, Ashtina, having his 79th race. And Tomo tells me that his research is telling him that Ashtina won a race before any of his opponents were born, which is rather an achievement. He's won 12 races, always blazes away in, well, not always, but tends to blaze away in front. I don't know whether he'll get there today. He's drawn 5. At Newmarket last year, he was in front nearly all the way. I don't know if you remember the day, because what catches Ashtina is Mr. Jolson. And you may remember one of his owners came on and did a wonderful Jolson impersonation after this victory. He just gets there, you see, to beat Ashtina. He customarily goes down to the start early, and the other vital thing at the start is that Tuscan Dawn ruined his chance twice last year by rearing up in the stalls. So when he gets here and when they start to go in, Tuscan Dawn will go in last.
He ought to enjoy it round here, I think. Johnny's run well at Epsom and Brighton. He loves those switchback courses. If he gets a good break, he's sure to take a good hand, despite being double the age of all of his rivals. JMP is a horse who I saw run a couple of times early on last season. This is Ian Balding's runner. He's a chestnut gelding by Doolab, and he won down at Bath really early on in the season, and he continued to improve, went up about 20 pounds in the handicap and still kept winning. He's a horse with a blistering turn of speed, only a 4-year-old. I think he's got plenty of improvement left in him. He's got top weight 9 stone 7 to carry that.
Royal Figurine, filly by Dominion Royale. She comes from behind. She's won her only race this season, and that was as good form as she's ever shown, really, when she beat Brave Edge in a rated stakes at Newbury. Lovely mover, isn't she?
She is. She's not going to be easy to ride. She likes to come right at the death, and she's drawn 6, so I think the water swimmer will just have to keep her covered up for a little bit. That also applies to JNP, who usually comes from behind as well. He's drawn in stall 1, so the pair of them will be looking for a little bit of room when they turn it into the straight.
One who'll be in front, if he can get there, will be Tuscan Dawn. As I told you, he'll go into the stalls last, because twice last season he had a good season, but twice he completely ruined his chance by rearing up in the stalls. So just a question mark there for John Carroll.
Yeah, might just find that the race is already over as well, because 2 or 3 of these, like making the run in Encore Milady and Ashtina, confirmed front runners. Barossa Valley is an interesting runner in this race, because he was never really right last year. He was found to have a trapped testicle, and for that reason is open to plenty of improvement. And he's really been suffering from winning first time up at Newbury as a maiden, and he's always been fairly high in the handicap.
Yes, a lot of the jobs he tasks he attempted last year were virtually impossible, but who knows what the gilding operation probably makes it much more comfortable for him. Could have improved him out of all knowledge. Let's look at Encore Milady, another filly trained by Franny Lee. She hasn't had a run this season. She won the William Hill Trophy at York last year. That was her high point, and she was then second at Chester the race after that, but then tailed off altogether. Her next 3 runs were best forgotten, so you've got to look back to the William Hill Trophy day at York. Now let's have a look at the betting with Simon Holt.
Yes, and Frankie's favourite on JMP at 5-2 from 9-4. Royal Figurine at 7-2, then Barossa Valley an 11-2 chance. Tuscan Dawn a little weak, out to 6-1 from 5-1. Encore Milady at 7s, on 8-1 Insider Trader. Ashtina at 10-1 chance, Magic Pearl at 14, and Lord Sky is the outsider at 33-1.
Let's have a quick look at the eye catchers. Ashtina, 10 years old, but looking a picture. Royal Figurine on the way to the post. Barossa Valley down in the ring, an Insider Trader, and JMP were a couple of negatives.
And JMP very easily back from 2-1 out to 5-2. Shum bookmaker showing 11-4 against it. The 5 favourites in 17 runnings have won this over 5 furlongs. 7-2 Royal Figurine, that's very solid. Last year's runner-up Tuscan Dawn, a 6-1 chance. And 2 winners in 17 runnings have won this first time out. There are 4 horses in this who've not run this season. Well, Absolution in 89, All Is Forgiven in 84, won on their seasonal reappearance. And among them are number 5 Encore Milady, who is a 7-1 chance. And my noble lord, that Encore Milady is a phrase that you've been heard to whisper once or twice, very quietly, to her ladyship. Encore Milady.
I'm glad to say that her ladyship isn't here to hear these taunts, but at least it's not about my pronunciation this time. We haven't seen Insider Trader. Richard Quinn rides. Had a good season last season, has won 4 of his 19 races altogether. Hasn't had a run this season.
So JMP at 5-2, Royal Figurine 7-2, Barossa Valley 11-2. From stall 7, Encore Milady will go out fast, and from stall 3, Insider Trader is best when going from the front. JMP from stall 1, the favourite's held up and comes with a rush. Just one more to go in, that's Tuscan Dawn. He'll be in, the gates will close and they'll be off and away. That's it, the gates close, indeed they are, under orders. And they are away. And Ashtina gets a good break, but so too Tuscan Dawn. It is Tuscan Dawn the leader. Tuscan Dawn from Ashtina out wide, the dark blue Lord Sky. JMP holds a good position. Insider Trader hasn't got to the front at a speedy 37 miles an hour. On the outside of the pack is Encore Milady. She normally gets it to the front, hasn't done so today. They come down past the 3 furlong marker. And Tuscan Dawn has the edge to Ashtina in the light blue, then up on the outside Lord Sky. Encore Milady is going to run wide. JMP hugs the rails, will he find room? Barossa Valley the back marker in company with Magic Pearl. They've got just over 2 to go, and it's Tuscan Dawn who has the edge to Ashtina. Now JMP's chased along in the yellow colours on the inside. Out wide is Royal Figurine, finishes with a flourish. Come down the straight, and it's Tuscan Dawn on the outside. Here comes Ashtina, the red cap. Through on the inside is JMP, and it's Ashtina that has the edge here. Ashtina going into a lead. JMP is finishing with a flourish. Ashtina's going to take it though up towards the line. Ashtina is the winner. JMP second. Ashtina, JMP 1-2. Magic Pearl third. Barossa Valley in fourth place. Watch that one next time. Then came Tuscan Dawn, followed by Royal Figurine. Inside the Trader never dominated. On call, Milady could never get into the race, and last of all was Lord Sky. The result then of this, the Thomas A. Higgins and Company rated stakes. It's Ashtina who's won it, the old boy of the party, number 10 on the card, in the colours of Miss S.A. Joyner, trained by Ron Hodges, ridden by Pat Edery, for whom he is the 21st winner of the season. And the paddock eye catcher for the lads, well done for them. Beat number 1 JMP, who was drawn through on the inside. Third horse home was Magic Pearl, who was putting in his best work in the closing stages. Tuscan Dawn, who really hit the stalls and got a length or two out of the race in the first furlong or so, could never really get there. It's Ashtina though coming home, and the old boy has done it well, very well indeed. The yellow colours there, JMP. Frankie Dettori didn't, well, he did get the run of the race. He had every chance inside the final furlong, just couldn't match the legs of Ashtina, the fastest sprinter here at Chester today. And there he is, Pat Edery's 21st winner of the season, third horse home, number 8 Magic Pearl, in the colours of Mr. G.G. Sanderson, trained by Eric Alston, ridden by Kieren Fallon. That mare on a bit of a losing roll still.
What a lovely sight this is. Tuscan Dawn brilliantly treated by the starter, who got them away the moment Tuscan Dawn was in the stalls. He didn't have time to rear, he came out like a bullet, and that turned out to suit Ashtina perfectly, because Tuscan Dawn has given the old horse a lovely lead to the straight, and Pat Edery has been able always to have plenty of daylight, so Ashtina didn't feel he was being crowded or anything like that. And the moment Pat presses the button, he goes straight past Tuscan Dawn, and from there on the only question is whether anything's come with a wet sail from behind, and JNP never looks like doing it. He's had a perfectly clear run over near the far rail, but on this occasion he can't catch Ashtina, who's home for his 13th victory in 79 races.
Ashtina, a 10-to-1 chance in the offices this morning. A 10-year-old, of course, as he is, returned at 10-to-1. Ashtina. The extraordinary thing, that was his 13th win in 79 races, and he's a horse known to go on sharp tracks. He's won at places like Lingfield, Epsom and Goodwood, but he's never won here. And he gives Pat Edery his second win in this race. He scored on Perrion in 1987, 10-to-1, the ever-popular Ashtina. The runner-up, JNP, sent off the 11-to-4 favourite. That was quite weak in the market, with Magic Pearl £6 out of the handicap, a 14-to-1 chance, who was third, and just holds off the each-way horse Barossa Valley. Lots of each-way steamer money on that from 10-to-1 down this morning. That finished fourth at 6-to-1, outpaced early, very wide in the draw, sure to win a handicap later on this season. That Barossa Valley, a pound out of the handicap. But Ashtina, 10-year-old, 10-to-1, winning on this sharp track as well.
Andrew, I've got over here.
Now here's the SP, first number 4 Ashtina at 10-to-1. That's his 13th win in his 79th race, and he's now earned more than £100,000 in win and place prize money. A grand old horse. Second number 1 JMP, the 11-to-4 favourite, and third number 8 Magic Pearl at 14-to-1. 9 ran.
Ivor Hodges is with us, Ron's brother. Ivor the engine, they call you, don't you?
That's right, that's exactly right, yeah.
Well, this has got a bit of an engine, old Ashtina, isn't it?
Good as ever, isn't he?
Remarkable. He's
Yeah,
10 years old,
10 years.
79th race.
Yeah.
I mean, at home, how much does he do?
He goes up the gallop 3 times a week, you know. That's all he does.
Yeah.
So,
And I
twice
mean, to keep him still, particularly old sprinter, keep him fresh, would you do? Take him away? What would you do with him?
no, he's just home, you know. Goes up the gallop 3 times. We take him different places every day, you know. He's good to go.
He looked to me, he's actually our eye catcher in the paddock. I mean, with an old horse like that, you know him so well. Are there days when you can definitely see he's sparking?
Yeah, yeah. He was sparking today. Actually.
Really?
Yeah. He was
I mean,
well
from the
today.
sort of moment, because a long old drive, isn't it?
Yeah, long drive.
He was good in the box, and
Yeah, super. First
but
class.
sprinters can be, you know better than anybody, they can be pretty sort of hairy brutes. They want to really...
Yeah.
How is he as
No,
regards...
he's good as gold. Good horse.
Well, he has that business of going dead slow and flat out, two paces.
2 paces.
And the stable been going very well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's very good.
Plus winners,
Yeah,
isn't it?
sure. Yeah, very, very good. Yeah.
Now, haven't you been very ill?
Yeah, I've had a heart attack.
You did ridiculously well.
Yeah.
When was that?
In November.
The engine was suspended for a bit, was it?
Yeah, been on the easy list for 6 months.
I think you look magnificent, you know. Almost as fit as Ash, do you?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you
I
very
feel a
much.
lot better now.
Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now the latest result from Brighton, a head-bobbing finish here. Emphatic Candidate getting home by a short head at 2-1 favourite. Second number 11 Nyali Beach at 7-1, and third number 5 Sapphire Sun at 11-4. The totes, the win tote paid £2.30, places 170, 180, 180 again. The dual forecast £6.80, and the CSF computer straight forecast £16.24. 13 ran.
So, Ivor the engine, what a perfect pick-me-up to have Ash Tina to look after, because, as you heard, Ivor had a heart attack at autumn and is clearly back in fighting form, and Ash Tina is a miracle of equine energy. In the next race, he's over a mile and 5 furlongs. It's the Ormonde Stakes, commemorating on the finest horses who ever lived, though not the most sound one. When Ormonde used to come up the gallop to Kingsclear, they used to say you could hear him breathing, the racket he used to make. But he was a Triple Crown with a really brilliant horse to race in his honour next on Channel 4.
How much? Family knees up in Monte Carlo. Wise decision for a Gary Glitter fan.
Every day, thousands of savers receive a cheque from Legal and General.
Now, must remember to pay the milkman.
This ray of sunshine was brought to you by the big company with the umbrella.
What the heck? Gold top tomorrow.
I think it'll be an adventure.
It's very quick. I'm a very poor sailor. It's wonderful.
Speed is the big difference.
On a shuttle, it's just a lot more fun.
Normally loading's only about 5-10 minutes. It's very good.
I needed quite a bit of persuasion, but I'm not sorry now.
Très confortable et je me sens en pleine sécurité.
My business is in northern France, so I can be there and back in a day.
35 minutes here, totally smooth. It was fabulous.
It was good value for money and very quick, so I'd be encouraged to use it in the future.
When you get off the shuttle, there is no passport control, so you can just drive straight off into France.
We wouldn't travel any other way now.
For your shuttle brochure, call 0990 700 800.
Buy your glasses from Vision Express and they'll be ready in about an hour. Even bifocals and varifocals. And you'll get a pair of prescription sunglasses from a selected range worth at least £89 and absolutely free. Free prescription sunglasses from Vision Express.
This is the original Colour Magic car polish from Turtle Wax, rated #1 by Auto Trade magazine. It's colour enriched to blend with your car's colour. When you polish, minor scratches disappear, like magic. Just pick the colour closest to your car's finish and see how Colour Magic blends in to enhance the true colour and polish off those imperfections. One easy application leaves a brilliant deep gloss shine that can last up to 12 months. The original Turtle Wax Colour Magic. Seeing is believing.
He's a victim of discrimination because of his age. She lives in the wrong area. He's discriminated against because he's got children. Many people find it difficult getting competitive car insurance. At Swinton, we have the widest range of policies, so whoever you are, we'll find the right one for you. Call 0800 600 700 now for a competitive quote.
Who understands that some people like a freshly cooked breakfast last thing at night? And who's happy if you want a freshly cooked dinner first thing in the morning? In fact, who serves up whatever you want, whenever you want it? Freshly cooked, morning, noon and night. I do.
If you're over 55, here's a company that could insure your home for less.
Call free on 0800 00 55 55.
Where paying less can still bring the cover and service you need.
That's 0800 00 55 55.
Where you can claim by phone, and in emergencies they'll find you skilled people to do repairs.
If you're aged over 55, call Landmark Express free on 0800 00 55 55 to see how much you could save on home insurance.
Welcome back to a packed-out Chester, and now the latest news on the Dial Your Duo result for the 310. The 1, 2, 3, Ashtina, JMP and Magic Pearl. You had to name 2 of those 3. Our £100 winner is Jason Ward of Runcorn in Cheshire. Well done, Jason. Now the 340, the Dial Your Joe competition for the 340. The number to ring, 0891 777 933. 0891 777 933. Now, meanwhile, action taking place at Southall in the 3 o'clock, and the second 20-to-1 winner of the afternoon at Southall. Life proving difficult for the punters there today. The winner, number 8, Born a Lady at 20s. Second, number 1, Missile Toe, the 11-to-10 on favourite. And third, number 3, Leela Pedigo at 6-to-1. 9 rand.
One of the most memorable Ormonde Stakes was way back in 1968. Her Majesty the Queen's Hopeful Venture, who had been runner-up the previous year in the St Leger to Ribacco, beat the great mare Park Top by 5 lengths. Well, we have another St Leger runner-up here, of course, Broadway Flyer, and he's put in 5-4 Broadway Flyer to become the second horse runner-up in the Leger to come on and win the Ormonde. Not odds on, 5-4 against Broadway Flyer. It's then Carbid 3-1 twice. That's Shambo and Zilzaal Zoman with 4-1 against Linney Head. 21 favourites in 35 runnings have won this over 13 furlongs, but only one has scored in the 90s. None of the 4 jockeys riding today has ever won the Ormonde. Can Broadway Flyer equal Her Majesty's Hopeful Venture? In 1968, that won it after runner-up in the Leger. Can Broadway Flyer go better than that and do it again?
Now, what about the Derby? The Vodafone Derby is now just over 4 weeks away, and we'll be concentrating on Celtic Swing soon and ask him, should he or shouldn't he run in the World's Premier Classic? But let's check out the betting after Saturday's 2,000 guineas. And Pennycamp, he is now the 11-to-10 favourite, won the guineas, next race the Derby. Presenting, who's done nothing wrong, won the Newmarket Stakes, is now 8-1, runs in the Dante on Wednesday, will be there at York. Manoir won the Fielden Stakes, 10-1, runs on Saturday in the Lingfield Trial. Salmon Ladder, this is the horse that won at York last October. This horse is trained by Paul Cole. We hear that's been working well. That runs in the Dante. Spectrum, who won the Tudor Stakes, 12-1. That goes to the Irish 2,000 guineas. Now, Celtic Swing, 2-1 with a run, second in the 2,000 guineas. Now, you would think second in the 2,000 guineas, that would be a very good trial indeed. But Celtic Swing, the connections have expressed doubts about whether he'll act on the track, about whether he'll go on the firm ground or what. Well, on Saturday he was just beaten, and in any normal year, that would have been a perfectly respectable trial for the Derby. They called him the Great British Hope, and yet there are doubts now about should he or shouldn't he. So John Frankham, as we look again at the 2,000 guineas, why are his connections expressing doubts about the Derby?
Well, obviously because of the downhill that he'll have to cope with at Epsom. It's a much more undulating course, of course, than Newmarket. And I think the thing that you've got to go home and think about from this Newmarket run is the fact that given a flat course, that Kevin Darley probably would have gone for home an awful lot sooner than he did. I mean, you've got to be pleased with the way Celtic Swing has run, because there are very few horses, when they've been in front for that way, fight back, and he really did fight back. You know, you'd have said, okay, give him another 2 or 3 lengths, and perhaps he's not going to be too far away.
Yeah.
But Kevin Darley is top flight jockey, and throughout the race, he's obviously come back and he said, look, this horse wasn't doing it for me coming down the hill. And Graham Good made the point, well, he always runs, even on flat course, he runs a little bit with his head in the air. But the difference is, on a flat course, it's the feeling that you're getting. And Kevin Darley obviously feels that when he's running downhill, you can't give him 2 round the backside because perhaps he's unbalanced, just not happy going downhill. And at Epsom, when the race is in earnest, maybe he'd be travelling quite well, but horses have got to take you down the hill, and I don't think that horse would ever take you downhill.
But hang on a tick, up until 3:40 Saturday afternoon, he was the hottest favourite of the Triple Crown, 7-1. Yeah. Suddenly, after coming down a little hill like that, oh, we're not going to run in the Derby. Surely there's only one Derby.
Well, no, they've said that he won't run in the Derby if the ground's fast, and they've got to look after the best interests of the horse. If he goes to France, where probably he's going to encounter a softer surface, he's going to have a much better chance. What's the point of going to Epsom if the ground's going to be really firm and the horse comes up and he's jarred up for the rest of the season, which could easily happen?
Jim McGrath, form expert, is here as well. Jim, Saturday's result, does that mean Celtic Swing's gone backwards, Pennycamp has improved, or was it the trip, or what?
Well, I mean, if you're looking from a time form perspective, McCurrick was very critical, fine. So let's look at it in that context. We think Pennycamp's improved quite a lot, but we also feel that Celtic Swing didn't give his running, which was based on a spectacular performance on a soft surface. Now, we go back 4 or 5 years, well, less than that, 2 or 3 years ago, to a horse called Armiger, who won the same race as Celtic Swing under similar conditions in a similarly fast time, and Mac also said was overrated, didn't fulfil his 2-year-old promise. Now, why? He ran here at Chester fast ground. He's a horse that did look ideally suited by a soft surface. He went to France for the Loop in his Derby trial. He had a very hard race on firm ground. And that was him till the autumn. He was pin-fired and never the same again.
But having said that, I mean, here we are, people saying a great British hope. Isn't it nice to have an English horse? And everyone's looking forward to seeing him run, and now they're thinking of running him in France or Ireland.
Well, they're thinking of that, Derek, because horses, I mean, the only way horses can't speak, so they transmit their ability and their performance through their legs. Yeah. And, I mean, as John's just said, Kevin Darley said, that the horse gave him the feeling he wasn't stretching down the hill. Yeah. Willie Carson made very good points when Brough spoke to him the other day. Yeah. And finally, I mean, I had a big bet on him on Saturday, and he came up to me from doing the paddock spot with Brough, and he said, "You haven't backed this, have you?" And I said, "Really?" "Yeah." He said, "It won't win," didn't you?
You knew then?
Well, I mean, some horses...
Well, you said that to me before the race, didn't you?
Yeah, but to be perfectly honest, the horse didn't look happy, and that's why the horses, won't run at Epsom if it's firm, because the horses have got to be happy when they're racing. But he obviously doesn't like it when it's just a little bit on the fast side.
But do you think, with the connections now coming out and saying they should water, and Epsom executive now watering, do you think that's sort of twisting the arm of the back of the...
I don't think they're trying to blackmail anybody. No, not at all. They've stated the fact. They've been incredibly upfront. They've said if it's firm, he won't run. What's the point of all these people going and backing it when they're going to lose their money? That's why they've said it. They're not trying to blackmail the Epsom executive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I spoke to Peter Saville for about 20 minutes on Monday, and I thought both he and Kevin Darley handled defeat very well. They didn't squeal. They got beaten by a better horse on the day under those conditions. I think that they both acknowledge that. But Peter did say that they feel now firm ground's against the horse, and they're not going to risk him because there's a long summer.
2-1 in favour of him not running in the Derby. I still think if the ground's wrong. Now, we had another contentious issue here yesterday. Yeah, Top Cees. Jim's going, oh no. Now, Top Cees, when he walked in here, the winner's enclosure, very little applause. Everybody's seen the headlines this morning. Jim, let's just take us back to the race at Newmarket when the horse was strongly fancied, was a steamer to win the Swaffham Handicap, and here he is, 2 furlongs left to run.
Well, the jockey's explanation that day was the gaps didn't appear. Well, there's a gap to drive 3 horses through there. I think the whole point about this horse is that, I mean, he's featured in several inquiries. Linda Ramsden herself said there's been more written about him. He's a horse rated 71. But none of the excuses to the naked eye, whether they're right or whether they're wrong, actually bear a lot of credence. Kieren Fallon said I was flat to the boards at Newmarket. I mean, to the naked eye, that is nonsense. Linda Ramsden said the horse is a difficult horse. It may be. It didn't stop her putting a jockey on that had never ridden a winner at Doncaster first time out this year. If it's so difficult, why put a boy on that's never ridden a winner before?
So what are you saying?
At Edinburgh earlier this year when they were hauled in, they said the horse couldn't be hit with a whip. 2 races later, the race later, and it had to be held up, it made the running and won at Wetherby, wasn't held up there and won. Yeah. And finally, it can't be hit with a stick. At Doncaster, while I was on holiday, he got beaten in a photo finish, well back favourite, and the jockey was suspended for his use of the whip. Every time that there's been an inquiry, they've said something, it doesn't add up, whatever they say.
Very, very good point. Well answered there. Now, John, I'd like you to bring you in yesterday, because the big race yesterday, we thought if the horse had to be held up to get 1 3/4 miles, then surely it would have to be held up here yesterday. But it ran the long way round, so it probably ran a bit further than 2 1/4, and didn't encounter any traffic problems. We thought it would have to weave its way through. It came round the outside, made full use of the stamina, and won going away.
He had a good run everywhere he went yesterday, and you could say, right, OK, he was travelling further, so obviously the pace of the race is slower, so he's travelling better throughout the race. He was the only one going with, with 2 furlongs left to run, and it's got to be said he's come home a very easy winner. But I think what we're all saying here, we're not really saying, OK, we're not crucifying Linda Ramsden. What we're saying more than anything is, is the discrepancy with the stewards, with that talking about the race at Newmarket. I mean, for anybody watching that race, you've got to say, well, hang on, he didn't make enough effort. When you compare what happened there with what happened to Willie Carson at Doncaster with a 4-horse race, and he drops his hand and he gets 3 days, that's what we're saying. If trainers will always get away with whatever they can get away with, and that's part of their job, and it's up to the stewards. You've got to see the stewards to be, having some sort of consistency and doing their job.
They've got to say, sorry, we don't accept that.
Bruff, you've been talking to the stewards this morning. What's the reaction from the Jockey Club?
Well, Jeremy Kerr was the senior stipendiary on duty at Newmarket. Really, the whole issue is how it was around at Newmarket. Was there any real urgency? Did he finish as close as he could at Newmarket? Now, I happen to believe he didn't finish anywhere near. I said yesterday, and I repeat again now, if that was in Australia, I promise you, Australia's stipendiary would have him off for weeks. Nonetheless, Jeremy Kerr, who's a perfectly straightforward man, he says that they looked at the film at Newmarket and that they listened to Kieren Fallon's explanation, which was different from the one he told you the next day on the Channel 4.
Yes, yeah, but at least
they thought the explanation squared with the pictures, and they say the horse didn't have room to manoeuvre. Well, that's what they say. They're honourable men. They apparently believe that. But, I mean, I've been around a bit. Yeah. What I saw was the horse was not given any urgency. I'm not saying that Kieren Fallon is a criminal, but I'm just saying it was an incompetent ride, and you've got to punish incompetence, otherwise people are going to think the worst of it.
Can I ask you another point? Is this good or is it bad for racing? I mean, here are all those sort of so-called exports.
For the professionals, the people, the punters in the shops are going to be disappointed. There's no doubt about that. But it upsets the professionals more than anything, because there'll be people saying, well, hang on, we got slaughtered for exactly the same, probably not even such a bad offence as that. And it just creates bad feeling. Admittedly, a lot of these stewards do it, without any reward at all. But that's not the point. So there's a lot of money involved. When you suddenly say, OK, we're going to suspend Frankie Dettori, Pat Edry or somebody for 3 days, you're talking about a lot of money, and, you've got to have the proper people in charge.
Tell you what, we'll continue this after the next race. We could go on and on. It'd be very interesting to hear the reaction, the press, the public. So we're going to do that later. But now we have news coming in from Brighton, I think, Simon.
Yes, the 3:20 result, Tomo. First number 1, Persian Affair at 15-2. Second number 5, Walnut Burl at 4-1. And third number 9, Pirates Gold at 14-1. Tafahus was the 11-4 favourite. 11 ran.
Now the Ormonde Stakes, commemorating, as we said, one of the finest horses that ever looked through a bridle. 1886 was his day, but this is a race that's been going since 1958, and the race was fixed at 1 mile 5 furlongs then, so it's a good long gallop, and there are 4 runners only, but they're 4 very interesting ones with Graham.
And they have between them won 18 races and nearly £500,000 in win and place prize money. The probable pace in the race comes from number 1, Broadway Flyer, trading at 11-10 on in the ring at the moment, with Michael Hills the rider. Linney Head is a 5-1 chance with Frankie Dettori, 10th of the Derby. Shambo won the race the last 2 years is at 7-2. Brett Doyle gets his big chance today. And completing the lineup is number 4 on the card, Zilzaal Zoman, a 4-1 chance with Walter Swinburne. That's the lineup for the Ormonde Stakes.
Well, this is certainly the only race I can remember with 4 runners, all of whom ran last time out against each other.
Yes, you think it'd be very easy to back a winner here.
You'd certainly think so. They finished in the order. Broadway Flyer finished second to Strategic Choice in the John Porter. Shambo finished 3 lengths away third. Linney Head was 5 lengths behind the winner in 5th place. And Zilzaal Zoman, who was unlucky in running, was 9 lengths behind the winner in 7th place, but he was quite unlucky in running. So, does that give us the winner? Who knows? Here is Zilzaal Zoman, as I say, he was twice stopped in running at Newbury. Should have finished a good deal closer. No doubt that race will have brought him on.
I actually watched him run at Windsor last year. Bruce Raymond gave him a brilliant ride. He beat Harvest Mouse, and I think a horse that ran well yesterday with top weight, the Flying Phantom. I never thought he was quite right. He always got himself in a real stew, used to sweat a lot before his races, never looked happy particularly throughout them, and I think maybe just something was probably not quite right with him throughout the season. This year he's had the one run, as you just said, at Newbury. He's got quite a bit of ground to make up on the other three, but I think you'll see an improved horse.
Let's look at the St. Leger second, Broadway Flyer, winner of the Chester Vase on this course last year. A really tough front-running stayer who tried to turn the St. Leger into a procession. He beat Moonax in the Chester Vase here easily, but it was Moonax who came to catch him in the end at Doncaster. Only just, though. That was a fine performance. He needs probably every yard of this distance to bring out the best of him, likely to make the running. The question is whether he can burn the others out.
Yeah, he ran some smashing races last year for John Hills and led the field into the straight in the arc at the end of a fairly long campaign. It'll suit him round here. He's got the other course specialist, Shambo, to cope with. He looked particularly well. Real character this is, and owned and bred by Maureen Britton. Clive Britton was saying Sporting Life this morning, one of his favourites, and not surprisingly, hardly ever runs a bad race, attempting for his third win in this race. But he's not only good here, was third in the Geoffrey Freer at Newbury last year. He's good, he runs good races over 1.5 miles. He'll run well over 2 miles, very versatile, and been a very good servant.
In front of him, the very good-looking Leafard colt, Linny Head, who won the Thresher Classic Trial at Sandown last year, and at that stage beat Camusine in that race, and at that stage he looked to have a real chance in the Epsom Derby. But sadly, fate betrayed him at Epsom because he cracked a cannon bone in that race. Finished 10th in the end, but turned out to have cracked a cannon bone. So was off the course for 11 months, 11 whole months. So in the circumstances, it was a pretty good performance to finish 5th in the John Porter, which he did.
That was a good run. Let's have a look, see if there's any money for him.
And Broadway Flyer is the favourite here, and a very strong favourite, 5-4 on, having begun at 5-4 against. Both Shambo and Zilzaal Zoman are active in the betting. Shambo touched 4-1 and has returned to 7-2. Zilzaal Zoman touched 9-2, now back to 4-1. And Linny Head is out to 5-1 from 4s.
As we said, Zilzaal Zoman has in the past got very excited. His sire, Zilzaal, who was a top-class miler, went over to America, tremendously fancied for the Breeders' Cup Mile, but completely boiled over on the other side of the Atlantic. And to some extent, his son has inherited that, but he looks cool enough now. Let's look at the eye-catchers. Old Shambo caught John's and my eye in the paddock, and he went down well enough to catch Graham's eye, while Broadway Flyer is best backed in the ring and Zilzaal Zoman is a negative. And here's McCrick to explain why.
Well, my noble lord, there have been 7 odds-on winners and 6 odds-on losers of the 13-furlong Ormonde Stakes, and they're only backing one horse here. This Broadway Flyer, 5-4 against, has been all the odds down to odds-on, now 5-4 on, and Ladbrokes, the magic sign, they're involved in shortening it up. And because everything else is drifting out because of the support for Broadway Flyer, Shambo's out now to 4-1 Shambo. On the shoulders, 9-2 Zilzaal Zoman and 11-2 Linny Head. Once again, we've got a one-horse book. The one-horse the bookmakers have laid right down the book to lose the money. Odds on, and they're now showing 11-8 on. Up the arm on 11-8 on from 5-4 against. I reckon now that Broadway Flyer is going to lead from trap to line and buzz it.
Well, that is his style of running, Mac. Made the running in the Teleconnection St Ledger and, of course, and in the Arc as well. And at Epsom, Broadway Flyer. Will be the last to load. Shambo on the outside, moved to post by his standards remarkably well. Linny Heads in the Sheikh Mohammed jacket of maroon and white. And we're just looking back to see Broadway Flyer, the winner of 4 of his 10 races and over £130,000 of win and place prize money, slot into the stalls for this, the Ormonde Stakes. So that's it, lined up then, understarters orders, and they're away. And well, it's Linny Head going on. Broadway Flyer the outside, Zilzaal Zoman in third, and Shambo fourth of 4. Very interesting this. Linny Head taking Broadway Flyer for pace, Zilzaal Zoman in third, and Shambo, the old shuffler, is fourth of the 4th of the first furlong in this Ormonde Stakes, a race that is won for the last 2 occasions. Linny Head leading then. The pace looks very steady, doesn't it? Broadway Flyer in second, new tactics today. Zilzaal Zoman in third, and Shambo fourth of 4. Start the turn towards the home straight for the first time, and Linny Head has it. Linny Head leading then from, in second place, Broadway Flyer, and these are the odds of reward. Broadway Flyer 11-8 on. Shambo 4-1, Zilzaal Zoman 9-2. The outsider of the party, Linny Head leads them as they come up past the enclosures, and Zilzaal Zoman going through on the inside. Broadway Flyer back in third now, and Shambo pushed along out the back, that he normally is, with a scratchy style Shambo has, taking about 2 paces to everybody else's 1. Broadway Flyer, the big horse, on the outside of Linny Head, but it's Zilzaal Zoman that's run through on the rail and taking up the running as they go away from the stall, from the stands. Zilzaal Zoman the leader from Broadway Flyer and Linny Head, and Shambo nudged along by Brett Doyle out the back, but the leading 3, Water Swinburne on the inside on Zilzaal Zoman, Broadway Flyer out wide, between the pair is Linny Head, the pace increasing now, but it's still very steady, get to top 30 mile an hour, but Zilzaal Zoman just has the edge. Broadway Flyer the outside, and then back in third is Linny Head now. Old Shambo's getting a bit closer on the course he loves so well. 3 of his 8 wins have been here at Chester, but it's Zilzaal Zoman who has it. Broadway Flyer the outside, Michael Hills within half a length of the lead. Back in third place now is Shambo. Here he comes, the old boy, sneaking through on the inside. Will he get a run? Linny Head's back fourth of 4. It's going to be eased down by Frankie Dettori. And it's Zilzaal Zoman, Broadway Flyer on the outside. Doesn't look like an odds-on favourite now, does he? Looks as if Linny Head's going to be pulled up. Shambo in second place. Zilzaal Zoman has the edges here. A quarter of a mile to go in the Ormonde Stakes. It's Zilzaal Zoman for Water Swinburne, who's having a tremendous week. Oh, Shambo's not going to give up, though. He's going to try and come through between the plate and the rails. And it's Zilzaal Zoman. Shambo is trying to close, but Zilzaal Zoman has the answers here inside the final furlong. And Zilzaal Zoman, and here comes Shambo with a late run. Zilzaal Zoman and Water Swinburne driving out to the line. Oh, Shambo's second this year, Zilzaal Zoman from Shambo. What a disappointing display by Broadway Flyer, who was third of the 4 and virtually given up Linny Head. He was pulled up, or effectively pulled up, with 2 furlongs to go. And so the result then of this, the Ormonde Stakes, Zilzaal Zoman at 9-2 is the winner. Second, number 3, Shambo, and third, number 1, Broadway Flyer. Officially placed 4th was Linny Head, but Frankie was clearly anxious some way from home on this horse who has had his problems in the past, and clearly Frank is going to have a look down on this foreleg that was injured in the Derby. The problem may very well have manifested itself yet again, and Frankie very anxious during the running of the race as well. On poor old Linny Head, but there's our winner, Zilzaal Zoman, taken down very quietly indeed by Water Swinburne, and congratulations there from Michael Stapp. He's won a Group 3 race. He's won the Ormonde Stakes, Zilzaal Zoman, the son of Zilzaal, and he's won a group race. That'll help his value, no end. Zilzaal Zoman, I must say, oh, Shambo, what a remarkable customer he is. Won this race for the last 2 years. In his 56th race, trying to go for his 9th win there on the right under Brett Doyle. Unfortunately, he found a better horse on the day in Zilzaal Zoman, but that one had to be ridden out to the line to win.
Zilzaal, Zoman, 92. Second, number 3, Shambo, 41. Number 1, Broadway Flyer, returned the 11th weight on favourite. So different with number 4, 4 pounds 50, the 4 pounds 4 I know a 9 pounds and 9 pence.
And Zilzaal Zoman, a great result for the bookmakers. Such an enigmatic horse. Nobody seems to be able to get him right. Not many punters did here. Returned the 9-2. Third favourite drifted out from 7-2 and did touch 5-1 on the course. The runner-up Shambo was a 4-1 chance. And Broadway Flyer, and I've rarely seen so much go wrong for a horse in a race. That Broadway Flyer, he couldn't get the lead. He stumbled around the turn here. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. The Broadway Flyer back down from 5-4 against to 11-8 on, and he's the 7th odds-on failure in the 13 furlong Ormonde. And Zinard in these colours was odds-on when beaten 2 years ago. Michelozzo in 90 failed at odds-on. In the 80s, Sir Harry Lewis and Critique. And you go back to the Noel Merlis player, Attica Melli in 73 and Premier in 1960, other odds-on failures in the Ormonde Stakes. But Zilzaal Zoman gives Michael Stout his second Ormonde when it was Sadler's Hall in 92. And for the choir boy, Walter Swinburne, his first Ormonde. But Shambo as well, the runner-up, didn't he go down fighting, trying to beat Savrango's record of winning it twice, going for the third, carried out on his shield, old Shambo.
Well, what a heroic effort by Shambo. Everything went Zilzaal Zoman's way in that Broadway Flyer didn't run at all. But how hard, did you ever see a horse try harder than Shambo? Up the straight now, he doesn't have very much daylight, but just enough to stick his head in. At this stage, I thought perhaps he was going to do it. If only Zilzaal Zoman had weakened a bit, I believe Shambo would have got there. But he doesn't. If anything, he quickens away slightly, and the old horse has to make do with second. Well, as I told you beforehand, Zilzaal, a top miler by the great Nureyev, trained by Michael Stout. But after winning the Sussex Stakes and other top mile races in Europe, Zilzaal went to America and boiled over completely there and gave away his chance in the Breeders' Cup. The dam, as you can see, is by the great Sir Ivor. And now, the presentation of the Ormonde Stakes Trophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us to present the trophy following our feature race of the afternoon, the £45,000 Group 3 Ormonde Stakes. It gives us very great pleasure to welcome to the winner's enclosure the Right Worshipful, the Lord Mayor of Chester, Councillor Gordon Smith, accompanied by his wife, the Lady Mayoress. Our sincere congratulations go to all of the connections of our winner, Zilzaal Zoman, and here to receive the trophy on behalf of the winning owner, Mana Al Maktoum. We extend a warm welcome to his racing manager and receiving his third trophy here at Chester this meeting. Your applause please for Joe Mercer.
Okay. I'm sure he will.
Now here's the Ormonde Stakes SP. First number 4 Zilzaal Zoman at 9-2. Second number 3 Shambo at 4-1. And third number 1 Broadway Flyer, the 11-8 on favourite. Very disappointing following a mystifying change of tactics. The totes there, the win tote £4.50, a bit skinny on the tote. The dual forecast £9.90. CSF £18.23 and 4 Rand.
Chester, this lovely track to watch because it all spins around underneath you. As we were saying earlier, quite amusing that in the Middle Ages, early Middle Ages, this was actually all underwater here, and Chester was one of the biggest ports in the land. They came up the Dee, and they actually docked up to the left there by the Roman walls. And gradually, down the years, this area here, this became a bit of a mud bank, and gradually it wasn't possible to get the boats there anymore. The boats went off to a place called Liverpool, which never looked back. That became the port, and this began to become a racing ground. Indeed, there was racing here as early as, certainly in the 14th century, but as early as 15, 11, 12, there actually recorded race meetings here. So racing has got the longest tightly recorded history, and it's one of the pleasures to see it coming up to date. Present day people enjoying the different excitements, all sorts of different people, a bit of colour. An awful lot of sports become very male dominated, but as you can see, there's not too much sign of male domination, certainly not in the clothes sense at the moment.
That lady in red is Marinda Taylor-Smith. The reason I know this is because I asked her, but quite simply, she is a private investigator. Honestly, imagine that on your trail. And the man who's laughing.
She wouldn't like to investigate me, would she?
She wouldn't. I don't know if you recognise the voice. Here he is, Vince Smith.
Vince Smith.
Vince Earl. Vince Earl. Out of Brookside.
Derek O'Sullivan. News at 10.
I love it. Listen, you should be in the middle of a trial at the moment, the O.J. Simpson trial in Brookside. What's happening?
O.J. Simpson trial doesn't live with the Mandy and Beth Jordache trial.
Yeah.
It's so intense at the moment. I've just had to come out for a couple of hours just to get a break from it. You know,
it must be very, very testing.
The courtroom is so stuffy.
You run what? Every night this week?
Every night this week, yeah. 5 nights, every night, Channel 4. Watch it.
And the millions must be absolutely tuning in, I suppose.
It's actually got the nation riveted at the moment.
It does.
Everybody in the race goes, all right, Ron, how does she go on?
Exactly.
How do they go on? Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's not for me to divulge the secret.
But is she guilty or not guilty?
Well, there it is, lies a sting in the tail. There is a nice twist to it, so I suggest that everybody does watch it.
You had a good VE day, because you in your shop, you gave away, what were you?
VE, Vince Earl, it was named
Vince
after
Earl,
me.
exactly.
Yeah, I actually gave away things in the shop. That means anybody who brought their original ration books in, I would sell them their shopping at 1945 prices. And to be honest with you, I did get my fingers burned. I thought no one would have it. And of course, Julia Brogan, with their masses of people from the over 75s club, came down and charabangs full. Yeah, Ron, give us that salmon and everything. That was it. So I am completely skint. I'm coming here to try and win my money back.
But you had a winner there.
Zilzaal Zoman is the first winner I've had in 3 days. Walter Swinburne, my favourite jockey. Well done, Walter.
Well, I think Walter is around at the moment. Is he? Yeah. I think he is. So let's go down and join him. Vince, thanks for everything.
Go down, buy my drink. Lovely to see you.
Thanks, matey.
Keep watching.
Walter, Vince has backed you, so you've done some people a good turn.
Yeah.
But this Zilzaal Zoman, last year he seemed to get quite upset some of the time, rather like Zilzaal himself. It's quite sweaty in it.
Well, basically last year he was an immature horse mentally and physically, and you know, full credit to Mr. Stout and the team. You know, they've brought him along steadily, and it's reaped dividends.
And I mean, you're looking today. I know it's a cold day. There's no question of sweating up today.
No, he was very collected, you know, calm and collected going to post, and that was the first good sign. And the second good sign was that you know, once I committed him, he went and relaxed in front, and you know, he did it like an old pro, which, you know, augurs well for the future.
Were you surprised that Broadway Flower didn't make it?
Yeah, slightly, but, you know, really I thought the horse would win beforehand, and I wasn't too worried how the race would develop, but let's just say it's nice it turned out right.
Yeah, and this horse seems to be progressing in a nice way. I mean, he's going to win some decent races, isn't he?
He is indeed. I mean, he's a horse that's, you know, like all the Zilzaals, they stay better than what people think, and I'd just like to say something about Zilzaal, that, you know, people are quick to knock him as a stallion, and he was a very immature horse, both mentally and physically, and his progeny are all the same. They just need a bit of time, and they've got the ability, but as they get older, they get better, and he's a good stallion.
That dreadful day in Miami, which was really very unfair on him, wasn't it? You got beaten up by outriders and goodness knows what.
God, that was it. I needed gloves that day, I needed American football gear, I needed a lot, but you know, the Americans saw him in the wrong light that day, and you know, we've all seen Zilzaal in this country, and he's a very, very active horse and very good.
Well, we've been polling everybody this week, as you probably know, about the Celtic Swing penny cap deal. If you were involved with Celtic Swing, would you say don't go to Epsom, or would you say there's only one Derby?
Well, let's just say you know, I agree. Of course, I agree in a way. There's only one Derby, but now it's 1995, and you know, you got to start being. You know, if I was involved with the horse, you'd want to be doing what's best for the horse. And both Kevin Darley, Peter Saville, and Lady Herries, I'm sure they know what to do.
And do you think Penny Camp can be taken in the Derby?
No, I'm a Penny Camp fan. Have been for a long time.
Thanks very much.
Okay, thanks.
Now the Dial Your Duo result on the 340 at Chester. Zilzaal, Zoman, Shambo, Broadway Fly. You had to name 2 of those 3. Our £100 winner is William Sullivan of Birkenhead in Merseyside. Good day for the locals. An earlier winner came from Runcorn, so the Chester locals doing well. Now the news from Southall on the 330. Latest result there. First number 2, Sing with the Band at 7-1. Second number 4, My Cherrywell at 6-1. And third number 5, Most Uppity at 7-1. Portlet was the beaten 9-2 favourite. 14 ran.
I've had some very sympathetic calls. I'd say uncharacteristically sympathetic. Very kind of you about my car. And I'm thrilled to tell you it's been found. It had travelled rather rapidly to the Walton district of Liverpool, but it's been found there, and apparently it's in reasonable shape. So it wasn't actually thanks to that rather splendid-looking investigator, but it has been found, and thank you for your good wishes. And we've got one more race to get some good money out of. That's after the break.
People often wonder what an actor does when he's resting. Does he sit about all day, doing nothing? Well, I wouldn't know. Because right now I'm demonstrating the unique road handling system of the Citroen Xantia. It's the first steady job I've ever had.
If you were born between 1915 and 1945, you'll remember these street parties. There was plenty to celebrate then, and there's reason to celebrate now. You've reached the age when you are guaranteed to be accepted for low-cost life insurance from Sun Life. From just £6 a month, equivalent to just 20 pence a day, you can secure a cash sum payable on death to help with funeral expenses, to leave to your partner or loved ones, or perhaps to benefit a favourite charity. And the best news of all is that you won't have to take a medical examination or answer any questions about your health to get this cover. That's right. Provided you're aged between 50 and 80, you are guaranteed to be accepted for the Sun Life over 50 plan, regardless of your state of health. For full details of how Sun Life can accept you for lifelong insurance cover, call this free phone number now, 0800 55 60 60. There's no obligation and no salesman will call. You will receive your information pack and a personal quotation by post. Apply now and you can get this attractive set of period pictures absolutely free to welcome you as a policyholder. You can also get your first month's cover free if you act promptly. Age certainly has its compensations when you can get guaranteed life insurance with the over 50 plan. So look forward to lifelong peace of mind with Sun Life. Call this free phone number now, 0800 55 60 60. The lines are open, so call now.
In those days, I never really thought about why I ate shredded wheat, but lately I've discovered something that's really made me think.
Shredded wheat has no added salt and no added sugar. That's because it's only made with 100% whole wheat.
If you ask me how many other cereals could say that, I'd have to think.
Nestle shredded wheat and bite-sized too.
You won't find a better cereal.
Why do you take 7 Seas high-strength pure cod liver oil?
Because it helps to keep my joints supple.
It's available in liquid and 1-a-day capsules.
Hello, Direct Line?
Direct Line Insurance. People come to us for the price, but they stay for the service. Call 0181 686 2468 for motor or 0181 686 8877 for home.
You're going to kill me. You're going to kill me because you overslept. You're going to kill me for an appointment. You're going to kill me without even thinking about it. You're going to kill me one day. Unless you kill your speed.
Welcome back, a big crowd. It's quite chilly this afternoon, but it's a big crowd. Once again, the best thing to be ready as a jockey. You're nice and warm in the weighing room, and you whistle out into the paddock and climb up on board a big warm horse. Actually, you can keep quite warm doing it. But the panelled grandstand has been a huge success, that grandstand. It's very nice inside, and Chester has adapted, I think, really impressively to the 1990s. And now for our last race with the jockeys in the paddock. Big field here, 7.5 furlongs to the trip. The win handicap, as you probably heard, Highland Magic is out, number 9 Highland Magic. You leave 17 to be listed by Graham.
And pace in the race comes from horses drawn wide. Kindergarten Kid and Chikawika can front run, and they're out wide. Drawn 11, Shikara's Son, 16-1, Richard Quinn. From 4, Sagebush Roller, 11-2, Walter Swinburne. Lincoln is Chikawika, an 8-1 chance with Pat Edery. From 16, Highborn, 8-1 with Willie Ryan. From 5, Promise Fulfilled is 25-1 with Kieren Fallon. From 8, Rossini Blue, 20-1 with Francis Norton. From 9, Pride of Pendle, a 10-1 chance with Alex Greaves. From 10, CJA, a 10-1 chance with John Carroll. Highland Magic doesn't take part. Walk the Beat does from stall 3, a 20-1 chance with Vince Slattery. From 12, Veloci, a 14-1 chance with Vince Halliday, who claims the 5. Going to post early is L-Shape. She comes from stall 1, that's regular happener at Chester, a 7-1 with Frankie Dettori. From 17, Sooty Turn, 14-1, Steve Brown claiming the 5. From 18, Indiara, 33-1 with Tony Garth. From 2, Twin Creeks, 20-1, Dan Wright, that's a possible front runner. From 13, Dowerlib, the 7-2 favourite from a field of this size, drawn wide at 13 with Willie Carson. From 6, Pab's Choice, 20-1 with Matthew Henry claiming the 7. And from 14, Kindergarten Kid, 20-1 with Gary Bardwell riding. Runners to post then, for this the win handicap.
Some time before they get to the start, and whatever the Jockey Club stewards may say, the top CFL won't go away. And John McCrick has been trawling opinion amongst the racing correspondents.
In The Sun, Claude Duval wrote, Kieren Fallon was impersonating a statue at HQ, while yesterday he was a whip-flaying action man. Everyone at Newmarket saw the horse was never put into the race with a winning chance. If punters stage a demo and go on a one-day strike today, nobody on God's earth could blame them. And in The Independent, Richard Edmondson said, the reception said it all. When Top Cees was led in, it was as if he was a dying comedian on the working men's club circuit. The crowd reaction was no reaction. And an editorial in the Sporting Life. It was one of those rare occasions on a British racecourse when the stench of being shortchanged was so palpable that it goaded even the poor put-upon British punter into a genuine display of anger. And Tony Lewis in The Star. The after effects are going to be a lot louder as angry punters ask what the hell the Jockey Club stewards are playing at. The Mirror's Charlie Forkas asked, how do the Jockey Club expect people to go into betting shops and risk their hard-earned cash if this sort of thing is not investigated? The Jockey Club has the power to hold an inquiry, but their man, David Oldry, decided against it. Yesterday, he was appointed to the levy board. He should resign from both. In The Times, Richard Evans, the official statements do not begin to address the widespread unease expressed privately by several trainers and jockeys after the race, or meet demands for action from the public. Chris Hawkins in The Guardian, once again, it is a case of the players, horse players and professional onlookers in this case, seeing things differently to the administrators. And Tim Richards in the Racing Post went to those of you who matter most, the punters. It was absolutely diabolical, said one. What chance has a punter got when this happens? Average people are going to be put off having a bet. Another said, it stinks. and he gets racing a bad name. I wasn't the only one in William Hill who was disgusted.
So what about the race goers? What did they think of Top Cees' victory? Well, let's ask them. Sir, can I start with you? Got quite a crowd here. What did you think yesterday, the Chester Cup winner?
Well, I thought the animal run a good race, and I thought it was an old-fashioned coup, and I didn't see anything wrong with it myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you back the horse?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I don't back winners.
But you don't think there's anything wrong at all?
I think it was height, to be honest. It'll be over the top.
Really?
Yep.
Sir, what are your thoughts?
I thought he won the race that they wanted him to win.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
You don't think punters were ripped off or taken for a ride or anything
No,
like that?
because they had a chance to back it again yesterday.
Sure. Did you back it?
Yes.
You did? Well done. Sir, come forward. What did you think of Top Cees?
He won a good race, he won well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the fact that he didn't run well the previous...
No.
What?
No, it seemed difficult that he could produce the win.
But would that put you off betting? I mean, do you think punters are being ripped off or what?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
You do?
So, yeah.
Sir, what are your thoughts?
Well, the jockey admitted on TV a few weeks ago that he deliberately stopped the horse more or less at Newmarket.
No, he said he overdid the weighting
overdid,
tactics.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then there was a big gamble on the horse.
Yeah.
On the anti-post.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ramsdens in the papers this morning said he didn't back the horse. Yeah. Now, who did back him?
Yeah.
And the way he won yesterday, my God, he'd have given those horses stone weight, another stone beating.
He would.
Yes.
So you're saying he should have won at...
He should have won at Newmarket.
Newmarket,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Sir, what are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I thought it was he rode a very good race.
Yeah.
I think he deserved to win it.
Yeah. We all think he deserved. He won like a very good horse.
Yeah, he
But
did at the finish.
Yeah, but the fact that what he did before, sir, come forward. What are your thoughts?
Well, I thought he done it for weight reasons for the cup. His weight dropped.
Well, yeah, it wasn't put up much. Yeah.
So that's my visions on it.
See,
should have won the race.
He could have won at Newmarket.
Should have won the race at Newmarket. It wouldn't have been that yesterday.
He had the gap.
The only reason that we're in yesterday was because she's the trainer and her husband's the gambler, and that was it. So as far as I'm concerned, the punches got sniffed out. The punches got sniffed out yesterday because her other half has had the money on it. The punches never.
Would you think of, would you worry in the future about backing a horse trained by the Ramsdens again?
He's right, yeah.
Very wary.
Yeah. It's a big fiddle. I think yesterday
Couldn't there was any favours.
Stunk.
So, mixed reaction from punters there for an affair which is going to rumble on for some time yet. Use some right.
Yes, Bruff, the 350, first number 7 Carpathian at 9-2, second number 3 Uncharted Waters at 12-1, and third number 6 Prince Danzig, the 9-4 favourite. Now Wendell Woods took a very nasty fall in this race at about the 3 furlong marker from Legal Train, but fortunately after a few minutes was able to walk away from that tumble. 9 ran. Now we've got some betting on this next race, the 410, the win handicap here at Chester, our final live race here this afternoon. And we've got a clear favourite, Willie Carson's Mount Dowerley, backed from 4-1 to 3-1. Sagebrush Roller is a 6-1 chance, then on 7's L-Shaped from 8s, on 10-1 Highborn, Chickawicka, CJA and Pride of Pendle, City Turn at 14-1, Veloci at 16s along with Shikari's Son, and it's 20-1 bar.
Let's look at the eye catchers now. L-shaped caught John's eye. Highborn went down well, and not surprisingly, Dawalib is being supported in the ring. Walk the Beat, a negative on the way to the post.
Early on, they did 5-1 Dorwell, and that was the price in the offices this morning. The runner-up last year, Sagebrush Roller, holding up at 6-1. The well-drawn L-shaped at 7-1, and it's 10-1 bar the 3. But Dorwell particularly strongly backed here, with all 4 favourites beaten today. Punters are looking to Carson to pull them out of trouble.
Well, it's great news about Wendell Woods. As while we look for Dawalib, the favourite, a message for Rebecca Hewitt. Fall had dreadful results for her, a fall in the Hunter Chase at Hereford. John and I went to see Rebecca last night, and I believe she's looking in. She'll certainly be watching Brookside later on. We just want to send her our love. She suffered dreadful injuries in that fall, and we sent her a Cheshire cheese that the racecourse very kindly gave to Channel 4. We've sent it via Richard, her husband. Hope she gets it. Dawalib is has most of his form is on the all-weather, and on the all-weather he's handicapped 12 pounds higher than he is here. And since his last 2 runs have been really pretty good on the turf, he won at Warwick and was then only beaten a short head by Thatcherella. There's every chance that he's crept in this handicap with a bit too little weight. That is supported by the fact that he has W. Carson riding at 8 stone, which isn't his bottom weight, but it's when Willie is doing 8 stone, that's all action.
Yeah, well, he was similar credentials to yesterday's winner, Go Heaver Golf, in as much as he's very well weighted on the pick of his all-weather form. But 2 or 3 here will be out to make the run-ins. L-shaped is very well drawn in stall 1. He likes to make the run-in, and there's plenty of speed as well coming from Chickawicker, who was 5th in the D Stakes here last year, going back to a mile. CJA, the Jack Bearers runners, won this race 2 years ago. Disappointing last year, but he's slowly coming back to form. Others to catch the eye walking round was Steve Norton's filly Promise Fulfilled. She's had a couple of runs, ought to be just about straight now. But Dawalib 3-1 favourite, Sagebrush Roller 6-1 shot, and L-Shape now 7-1. GG, you're a sprint man. What do you fancy here?
I think the race might pan out for L-Shape, John. She shows plenty of pace, is well drawn, loves to win here at Chester. 2 over 5 wins come from Chester. 2 over 5 wins have been at Catterick. A very fast performer, and Frankie Dettori on board. That'll do for me, L-Shape. Although Highborn moved best to post in my judgment, is drawn wide. Wouldn't really like to put your money on a horse that's drawn in the high numbers here. Normally at Chester, Big McCrick gives us a chapter on verse on a lot of the draw. He hasn't done so this year. If he lost his stats or something. Here we go. Walk the Beat in the yellow sleeve jacket, red cap, one of the last to load. Didn't go down that well. We'll see how it comes back. L-Shape from stall 1. Twin Creek shows early pace from 2, and also on the outside, Chickaweeka and Kinnegar Kid can show pace. That's on the left as they come out of the stalls. And a little bit of a concertina there with Chickaweeka coming out a little bit to the left, and CJA is dropped in some way off the pace, in fact last. Highborn nearer last and first. But it's L-Shape on the right of the picture, and Twin Creeks, the 2 who show. Chickaweeka out wide, the blinkered runner, City Turn the black cap. Dawalib behind these. Willie Carson looks around to see if he's cleared to cross to the rail, does so. It's a pacey 30 miles an hour plus, L-Shaped on the front end from Twin Creeks, and then Chickaweeka and Dawalib in the red colours, the red hot favourites. Sooty Turns in 4, followed by Pab's Choice behind these, and then Walk the Beat, and then Highborn, and down the pack we have Rossini Blue. But the front end, it's still L-Shaped who has it. The red colours are Dawalib, the black caps City Turn, black colours Indian Era with a run, Highborn on the outside, Pab's Choice, My Rossini pulling double, Pride of Pendle the grey, pushed along out the back, Promise Fulfilled. Sagebrush Roller has won here, shouldn't think of be winning this. Come down past the 3, L-Shaped on the inside of Twin Creek, still 1 and 2. Here goes Dawalib in the red colours, going to be looking for room, Chickaweeka on the outside of it. Indian Era very wide. Here comes Highborn, yellow cap on the very wide outside of the pack as they start the run in. Just over a furlong to go, and L-Shape's getting the run of the race next to the rail, still has it. From Dawalib, the red colours, and here comes Sooty Turn, the black cap on the outside. A lot of barging in behind. Highborn on the outside, but the red colours of Dawalib strike the front as they come inside the final furlong. Dawalib in the lead from Sooty Turn. Here comes My Rossini with a great run through next to the rails. Pab's Choice is finishing fast, but Dawalib is going to land it at the line. Dawalib is the winner. My Rossini just in second place. Pab's Choice in a photo with Shikari's son for 3rd and 4th. And then came Highborn and L-Shaped from behind these, Pride of Pendle, Sagebrush Roller, and the field trail back to Indian Era last of all. And so the result then of this, the win handicap, it's gone to horse number 16, Dawalib, in the 3-1 favourite in the colours of Jack Brown Bookmakers Limited, trained by Derek Hayden-Jones and ridden by Willie Carson. For second place, a very close call indeed between Rossini Blue, who's through on the inside, of Pab's Choice there in the blue, and the yellow cap on the outside. That's Highborn, who put in his best work in the closing stages. So it's just Dawalib who takes it. Very close call for second. Blue colours in the centre, Pab's Choice. Rossini Blue runs the rail. These just in front of Highborn, and then Shikari's, and then Sooty's turn behind that. Rossini Blue has got a great run through on the rails there on the right, but it's the favourite in the red colours now on the right of the picture, Willie Carson pumping away, coming down the home straight. A lot of horses with no luck in running here, a lot of jinking through the first quarter mile, certainly on the home turn, but favourite backers weren't really in danger. Rossini Blue on the inside, the blue colours nearest to Pab's Choice, they're close for second and third.
Relief at last for the punters, and Carson does it for them. Dwara back down from 5-1, returned the carpet. The 3-1 favourite, a decisive winner. Very close for the places. Rossini Blue involved there, 25-1, a pony Rossini Blue. Pab's Choice is a 20-1 chance, and Highborn was sent off at 10-1. But no doubt about the winner. The bookies, after 4 beaten favourites here, are paying out at last. Good old Carson, despite the draw 13, Dwara goes in, the 3-1 favourite.
Well done, Willie, and what a fine job he made of making up for a 13 draw. That's an awful long way out, but Dawalib helped him by jumping out fast, and then by this time Willie had worked his way across to the rails, and the only question now is whether a sufficient gap is going to open up for him.
Yeah, given that this horse a peach of a ride, always following the pace which was set by L-shaped. Sooty turn there with every chance over on the far rails. That's Kinnegad Gold running well, but never any danger once Willie struck home. Tremendous finish this race. It must have been 7, covered by a length, running up for second place, but this horse held on well.
And Derek Hayden-Jones, the Welsh trainer, has just told me that he said to Willie Carson in the ring beforehand, he says, Willie, I'm worried about the 13 draw. He said, do you trust me? I'll make certain horses all right. And Derek said, well, I'm born to a Scottish woman, so I've got to trust the Scots. So there you are, the Welsh and the Scots getting it together here in England. So, yeah.
Second time this week all-weather form has worked out, although admittedly Dawalib, as I told you, had run a couple of good races on the turf too.
The end of a thrilling day, the close of a splendid 3-day meeting. Hope you enjoyed it. We certainly did. Stakes, once again a fine highlight to the day. How Zilzaal the man took it at the close of the show. Let's whiz through the other races.
Mystic Smile leading in the hoop sleeve jacket. On the outer is Honourable Estate. Through into third is Skeleton Countess in blue, and that one's travelling well. A couple of lengths behind these comes Like a Hawk, but it's Mystic Smile, the leader by a length and a half or so as they complete the turn for home. And Mystic Smile under John Carroll, clear by 2. Here comes Bewitching on the outside of Skeleton Countess. Wide is Honourable Estate in the yellow cap, but they're inside the final furlong. And this Mystic Smile, who stole lengths at the start, is clear by lengths as they come up towards the line. And Mystic Smile takes it up the post. Mystic Smile is the winner. Branston Danny through on the inside for second. And it's Maraja with Sanusi on the outside. Here comes Pentire in the yellow sleeve jacket. Wide of the pack, down the straight they come. Any one of the front 3. Pentire on the outside. Pentire goes into the lead. His class is telling here. Up towards the line. Pentire's going to take it. And Pentire for Michael Hills is the winner. Pentire the winner. Close for second. Come down the straight. And it's Tuscan Dawn on the outside. Here comes Ashtina, the red cap. Through on the inside is JMP, and it's Ashtina that has the edge here. Ashtina going into a lead. JMP is finishing with a flourish. Ashtina's going to take it though up towards the line. Ashtina is the winner. JMP second. Ashtina, JMP 1-2.
And here's the full list. The 210, number 6 Mystic Smile at 6-1. The 240, number 1 Pentire at 9-4. In the 310, the old boy Ashtina at 10-1. In the 340, Zilzaal Zoman zoomed in at 9-2. And at last, a winning favourite in the 410, number 16 Dawalib at 3-1. Now the latest result at Chester, confirmation of that SP on the 4:10. First number 16, Dawalib, the 3-to-1 favourite. Second number 17, Pab's Choice at 20-to-1. Third number 6, Rossini Blue at 25-to-1. And fourth number 4, Highborn at 10-to-1. Non-runner number 9, 17 ran. And another SP at Southall, the 4 o'clock. First number 1, Sea Devil at 5-to-1. Second number 11, Rupert's Princess at 12-to-1. And third number 12, Russian Heroine, the 3-to-1 favourite. Just Lucky, unseated Russell Price leaving the stalls there. If you back that one, 13 ran.
And the news here in the winner's enclosure is that Dawalib will now be given a rest, and they'll aim this horse at the Wokingham, the big sprint at Royal Ascot. Now, you know when I said at the top of the show that we've been down to the University of Liverpool Equine Hospital. Now, we were hoping to show you this very famous horse, but unfortunately time has beaten us. But we will reveal all about this horse on the morning line, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock.
Well, the fillies have sussed me out here and come round to me. It has given me an excuse, actually, the weakest link I think I've ever given to get into the betting on the Vodafone Oaks, which we haven't shown you for some time. And it looks as though the horse, the fillies second and third and 1,000 guineas are dominated. Acareed is the 5-to-2 favourite with Moonshell 7-to-2. So it's evens. One of those two will win the Oaks, and neither of them will have a prep race beforehand. Outside it is hard to get where the opposition's coming from. Dural a 14-to-1 chance, runner up to Acareed at Ascot, of course, in September, but that's had trouble since. Shapely a 20-to-1 chance for Henry Cecil, won a Leicester maiden in October. I don't know where that's going to run. Pure Grains a 25-to-1 chance. That was behind Acareed and Dural at Ascot. And yesterday's winner, Dancer Dream, is put in a double carpet, 33-to-1. But it looks as though the Oaks is between Acareed and Moonshell. It looks as though my chances here are between these two. Which one of you want me? Aren't you gorgeous, girls? The fillies are wonderful.
Dear, oh dear. Well, I'm sure they were enjoying it, as they say. He certainly was. And tomorrow, next week rather, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is try and find the car day, but next week, York we go to. 3 days on the Knavesmire, 3 wonderful days. The York spring meeting, really exciting in May there. There's the Minster waiting for it. The Musidora is the feature on the Tuesday. The Dante, the homeowners Dante, on the Wednesday, and the major Derby trial that is, with Presenting reappearing and Spectrum, a really important Derby trial, and the Yorkshire Cup on Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Channel 4 on the Knavesmire, one of the finest meetings of the whole year. And we've got the morning line Saturday. Make your date at 9 o'clock to start the week, and we leave you with how Zilzaal and Zoman cooled down from the worries of last year, came good in the Ormonde. See you next week.
Who's having a tremendous week. Oh, Shambo's not going to give up, though. He's going to try and come through between the plate and the rails. It's Zilzaal, Zoman, Shambo is trying to close. Zilzaal, Zoman has the answers here. Inside the final furlong is Zilzaal, Zoman. And here comes Shambo with a late run. Zilzaal, Zoman and Wallace Wimber driving out to the line. Oh, Shambo's second this year. Zilzaal, Zoman from Shambo.
Channel 4 Racing, sponsored by the Daily Mirror.
Non-trying horses, manipulated odds and dud inside information. Greg Dyke reports on how hard it really is for a racing punter to come out on top in fair game at 8 o'clock tonight.
Sunday at 8, an extraordinary new series charting how the American West was won